Hi, my name's Rose Pascoe. I'm in my final semester of a business degree at QUT, majoring in advertising, and today I'm here to reflect on my experiences in the capstone course AMB339 Advertising Campaigns. I came into this course a little bit apprehensive about the scale of the assessment task and the thought of a 10-person group project. And when I found out I was one of the 2 account managers for my group, that drastically upped the pressure for me. In the account manager role, it was all systems go from day one because the rest of the team was counting on myself and my role partner to essentially get the ball rolling. Our basic role task was to set everything up, make our goals clear, and then guide everyone and keep them on track throughout the semester. I've got to say that despite feeling like I'd been thrown in the deep end, I think I did pretty well in giving our group a really good starting point with the project. In the first week, my role partner and I went away, did a bit of research about what we could do to ensure that our team would work well together and achieve great results. During this planning research phase, I came across a really helpful framework, Dyer's 4Cs framework, which helped me to compartmentalize the theoretical tasks I needed to achieve in order to set my team up for success. Part of this framework described team competencies as being formal and informal processes that exist independently of individual competencies and related to goal setting, decision making, and communicating. One example of a formal process I introduced to the team was to set expectations via a set of team rules. These rules included being positive, staying professional when communicating, a 24-hour time frame to agree to changes, and being open with ideas and receptive to feedback. Each of these team rules has ensured professional communication and timely responses, which has greatly increased our productivity and our efficiency because we've avoided any irrelevant conversations in our online group messaging. Defining expectations has also led to more effective individual work because expectations of team members has already been established since the beginning. This introduction of team rules is also supported by literature which widely regards team charters as a valuable teamwork starter exercise. Another formal structure I created was a project timeline so that everyone knew when their own work was due and how it related to other team members' tasks. Tannenbaum and co-authors found that considerable evidence has linked task-related planning activities like goal prioritization and sequencing of task components to team performance. Another positive thing I've contributed to the group was to set up formal weekly meetings to evaluate our progress as a team. I also believe that in-person communication is important in reducing miscommunications, as well as helping to foster a more creative and collaborative environment, which is an important part of an account manager's role. Something I did to increase the productiveness of these meetings was to create an agenda each week to guide the discussion. We'd start each meeting with a general discussion about interesting, relevant things we'd heard, then go on to talk through the tasks we'd set for the week, check in where everyone was at, and finish up by redefining our goals for the next week based on our progress. Unfortunately, even the best teams are bound to run into issues at some point, and one of the most common issues encountered in group projects is social loafing. Social loafing refers to a reduction in individual effort in group tasks as a response to de-individuation or decreased personal accountability. According to the Social Psychology Bulletin, Social Loafing and Expectancy Value Theory, this phenomenon occurs because in groups people believe less so that their efforts are essential to achieving desired outcomes than when they're in individual contexts. In my own group, I was recently CC'd into an email from one of my media people about a task that hadn't been completed by her role partner. She'd handled the situation really well, set a timeline for the upcoming tasks, and gently encouraged more communication between the two of them. However, it was clear that this was a trend rather than a once-off, and that I needed to step up as a team leader to solve the issue. According to West and co-authors' work on social loafing in teams, to reduce social loafing, it was necessary for me to increase individual accountability by making individual inputs identifiable to teammates. To achieve this, I created a Google Docs calendar, which clearly sets out the timeline, but also provides a level of accountability in that each person can now see who has completed their tasks. By distributing this calendar to the group as a whole, I also eliminated the need to individually reprimand someone, which could have led to resentment and increased feelings of disengagement from the group. Aside from this specific incident, I think that there are a few ways that I can improve in my account management role to foster a more productive environment for all of my team members. For a start, I think that because a lot of individuals in the group are quite competent and some have really gone above and beyond what's expected of them, it's important as a group leader to make sure that people feel comfortable coming to me if they're not doing too well, or if something's come up that might prevent them from meeting a certain deadline. So to kind of relieve that pressure and just acknowledge that these are individual people with lives outside of the project. I think that something else I need to get on top of is not getting distracted by or caught up in team positivity. I think that everyone's been really pleased with our progress so far, but getting carried away with this could lead to disregarding issues that are going on in the group. So I need to find a balance between celebrating our achievements and realistically evaluating our performance. I've also been very busily keeping track of my communications with other roles in the team, but I've neglected to keep track of interactions between other group members. This is something that's unique to my role as an account manager because I need to be across everyone's communications, not just my own. So this might mean setting up a document with my role partner so that we can keep track of noteworthy meetings and interactions between other group members other than ourselves. So far, this course has been an amazing learning experience, and it's really felt more like an immersive project rather than just a standard uni course. The consistent contact and communication with the group has reinforced that campaigns are an ever-changing, living, breathing thing, and that team members need to be able to improvise and adapt, and sometimes be a little bit flexible, especially in a leadership role.